वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्ताः स्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया पर्युपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धरता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ज्ञानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः। तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं। श्रीमद् भगवत गीता भगवान के मुखारबिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है, और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है, वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवः स्वाहा तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। You can now open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness, and all you have to do is to shine brightly, and you'll be helping the world and the universe. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan Ki Jai. Shri Gurudev Maharaj Ki Jai. Gita Mata Ki Jai. Stay blessed.
All of you in this beautiful Thursday Satcharcha Satsang on Bhagavad Gita. Since our friend Narendra Kapoor ji is vacationing, we will have some moments, and may I request a few devotees to share for a few minutes each on Bhagavad Gita. So may I request Ramesh Khemlani ji first, in case he wants to take 5 minutes and share.
जय श्री कृष्ण।
Jai Shri Krishna bhai.
हम गुरु जी का जो प्रवचन है वो पढ़ना चाहेंगे हिंदी में, अगर आप बोलें तो।
पढ़िए, आप जरूर पढ़िए भाई।
आज है दूसरा अध्याय। लास्ट टाइम मैंने पहला अध्याय पढ़ा था, आज दूसरा अध्याय है गुरु जी के वाणी में। आज से 40 साल पहले जो गुरु जी लाइबेरिया में मौन व्रत रखा था, तो 1 घंटे का गुरु जी दर्शन देते थे, और उस 1 महीने के अंदर गुरु जी ने पूरी भगवत गीता के ऊपर एक एक अध्याय के ऊपर सारांश लिखा था अपने हाथ से। तो वो अब छपाया है और कोशिश कर रहे हैं सबको बांटने की। आज उसका दूसरा दिन है। पुनीत आत्माओं, प्रथम अध्याय में बताए भाव के अनुसार अर्जुन यह नहीं चाहता था कि तुच्छ सांसारिक सुखों के लोभ में पड़कर नरसंहार जैसे भयानक पाप में प्रवृत्त होना, गुरुजनों का नाश करके खून से सना भोजन करना वह अच्छा नहीं मानता था। इससे तो अच्छा है भिक्षा के अन्न पर निर्भर रहना। वह भगवान से कहने लगा, प्रभु मुझे धर्म का मार्ग बताएं कि मेरा कल्याण किस प्रकार होगा। मैं आपका शिष्य हूँ, मेरा उद्धार करो। मैं आपकी शरण में हूँ, मुझ पर कृपा करके अपना निश्चित मत मुझको बताओ। शरणागत अर्जुन को अधिकारी शिष्य समझकर भगवान ने तत्व ज्ञान का उपदेश आरंभ किया। हे अर्जुन, ज्ञानी लोग घमंडी नहीं हुआ करते। उनकी प्रत्येक बात विचार पूर्वक होती है। वो सांसारिक प्रपंचों से परे होते हैं। वो जानते हैं कि आत्मा का संबंध शरीर की बाल, युवा और वृद्धावस्था से नहीं है। उसी प्रकार उसका इस शरीर से या मृत्यु के पश्चात वाले शरीर से भी संबंध नहीं है। इसलिए इंद्रियों के सुख विषय भोगों वाले संसारी सुख सदा रहने वाले नहीं है। तत्व ज्ञानी सत्य और असत का भेद जानते हैं। तत्व ज्ञानी सत्य और असत का भेद जानते हैं। आत्मा का नाश कोई नहीं कर सकता। आत्मा न जलता है, न गलता है, न सूखता है और न कटता है। घर के अंदर रहने वाले कुछ दिन रहते हैं, फिर चले जाते हैं। घर वही रहता है। राज्य में आने वाले अधिकारी भी कुछ दिन के बाद चले जाते हैं, मगर राज्य वही रहता है। मनुष्य पुराने कपड़े जैसे उतार कर फेंक देता है, वैसे ही आत्मा इस शरीर को उतार कर फेंक देती है। जिससे जन्म लिया वह जरूर ही मरेगा। फिर पाप क्यों करे? किसके लिए करे? जिसके लिए पाप करते हैं वो भी एक दिन मर जाएंगे। धर्म का पालन करना चाहिए। वर्णाश्रम धर्म के अनुसार तू क्षत्रिय है। क्षत्रिय को धर्म युद्ध से विमुख नहीं होना चाहिए। धर्म युद्ध का पालन करने वाले मरकर स्वर्ग सुख भोगते हैं और जीवित रहे तो राज्य सुख भोगते हैं। वर्णाश्रम का पालन करो। सुख दुख को एक समान समझो। लाभ हानि को एक समान मानकर हार और जीत में एक समान रहकर धर्म का पालन करो। इसी में तुम्हारा कल्याण है। अर्जुन की जिज्ञासा पर भगवान ने पहले तत्व ज्ञान अर्थात मूल ज्ञान का उपदेश दिया। इसी मूल धर्म को ही साक्ष्य कहा है। इसलिए इस अध्याय का नाम साक्ष्य योग रखा है। इसको ठीक ठीक जानने वाला तत्वज्ञानी कहा जा सकता है। फिर भगवान ने अर्जुन को जब वर्णाश्रम धर्म पालन करने का आदेश दिया तब अर्जुन ने तत्वज्ञानी के लक्षण जानने की जिज्ञासा भगवान से करी। भगवान ने कहा, हे अर्जुन, मन से संसार के समस्त प्रपंचों कामनाओं का पूर्ण त्याग करने वाला तथा भगवत जीवनयापन करने वाला तत्वज्ञानी स्थित प्रज्ञ कहलाएगा। वह कछुए की भांति इंद्रियों को समेट लेता है, विषयों के स्वाद को मन से त्याग देता है। अज्ञानियों के ज्ञान को तो ज्ञानी अज्ञान मानता है और तत्वज्ञानी के ज्ञान को संसारी तत्व से न जानने के कारण अज्ञान कह देते हैं। विषयों में तथा कामनाओं में डूबा प्राणी शांति प्राप्त नहीं कर सकता। विषयों में तथा कामनाओं में डूबा प्राणी शांति प्राप्त नहीं कर सकता। तत्वज्ञानी अर्थात स्थित प्रज्ञ पुरुष ही शांति प्राप्त कर सकता है। वह अंत काल में भी निर्वाण पद को प्राप्त कर सकता है। इस प्रकार इस अध्याय में भगवान ने अपने शिष्य अर्जुन को वर्णाश्रम धर्म तत्व सांख्य ज्ञानी और तत्व ज्ञानी के लक्षणों का उपदेश दिया। अर्जुन पर उसका क्या असर हुआ इसकी चर्चा कल करेंगे। हरिओम तत्सत।
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू।
बहुत अच्छा लगा। इसको अंग्रेजी में भी ट्रांसलेशन करना है कभी।
ठीक है, मैं आपको फोटो कॉपी भेजता हूँ, आप
हाँ,
कर
तो
लीजिएगा।
हाँ, फिर विल फाइंड आउट द वे टू गेट इट इन इंग्लिश, तो सबको
ठीक है,
समझ में आ जाए। धन्यवाद।
ठीक, थैंक यू। जय श्री कृष्ण।
जय श्री कृष्ण। We have for few more minutes. अगर केशव चोपड़ा जी want to share some of his experiences, you are welcome, केशव जी।
जय श्री कृष्णा।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
थैंक यू जोशी साहब। थैंक्स फॉर गिविंग मी द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू स्पीक। देखिए, बात तो वही है, श्लोक तो वही 700 श्लोका आर द सेम श्लोका, बट माय गॉश, आई डोंट नो, आई हैव नो वर्ड्स टू एक्सप्रेस माय फीलिंग्स। यम यम वापि सिमरन भावम त्यजते अन्ते क्लेवरम तम तम अवैति कौन्ते सदा तद्भाव भाविता। श्लोक बहुत बार सुना है, हजारों बार सुन चुका हूँ, रिसाइट भी कर चुका हूँ, लेकिन आज सुबह और यस्टरडे मेडिटेशन में जो समझ ही आया, मेरे शरीर में कंपकपी हो गई। हुआ ऐसे कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी को टीवी पे देखा, वो राम भक्त हैं, और राम मंदिर के अंदर जब सूरज की किरणें पड़ी तो टीवी पे दिखा रहे थे, उनके विंडो से जो भी जगह है, उनके जो राम मंदिर के अंदर राम जी की मूर्ति स्थापना हुई है, उसके ऊपर वो सूरज की किरणें पड़ी, सनलाइट वेंट ऑन द फेस ऑफ प्रभु राम।
You can continue English. That will be much better for our.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. I know, because more people are hearing from that language. So what happens when the light fell on the face of Prabhu Ram, and the way he was worshipping? So that shows that Narendra Modi ji, being the devotee of Bhagwan Ram, he had as the shloka is recited, it says, it doesn't say he will go to him. It says he will go to his bhav, his thought, his feelings in the mind, in the intellect, in the heart. That feelings he gets. So from that perspective, Purushottam Krishna is saying, one who worships me, remembers me all the time, then at the time of his last breath, he will achieve my bhav, my thought, my feelings, the way I am. And the way Purushottam Krishna is Sambhav. Sambhav is the most important word in this world, in this universe, from all the scriptures. If we see that Sambhav is important, when we do meditation, we meditate on Purushottam Krishna, Purushottam Krishna alone, none other form. In our Fremont Hindu temple, one of the Pandits asked couple of times the people, and the Japanese came there, and in my presence I saw that Pandit asking each and everyone individually, please tell what is the philosophy behind Purushottam Krishna is teaching, establishing dharma, and at the end he says, Sardharman Paritajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraj. What is this? He's preaching, establishing dharma, and at the end says, forget dharma, come to me alone. And he asked this question to me directly as well, in person, because sometimes I also do get the opportunity to speak on Bhagavad Gita in the temple. So guess what? That question went into my heart. I did hear from ear, everybody as we do. Then it went into my mind, went into my intellect. Then I surrendered to Purushottam Krishna in my meditation. Guess what? I got the answer. I got the answer.
Yeah.
The answer is, even at that time, when Purushottam came like 5,300 years ago, give and take, at that time people were worshipping either Bhagwan Ram or Shiva, Lord Shiva. So that is the reason he said, don't worship them. Then whole Bhagavad Gita focuses on that. Because he didn't say worship me as well. My bhav, you will come to the way I am. Upanishads say neti, neti, neti. But now what I am saying, it is as it is what Purushottam Krishna declared in Bhagavad Gita. I think I've taken a long time.
No, thank you very much. Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you very much. It is the bhav that matters in the end. It's the bhav. What kind of bhav you have. Bhagwan bhav ke bhuke hai. Thank you very much.
True.
So I request now Dr. Prasadji, but before that I want to also request all of you, there's a full moon next Tuesday, and Swami Gita Kiranji has a special program in the evening of silent time. I will send you the link after this program, so please join on Tuesday, which is going to be morning in the US, a day before, after, I'll calculate and let you know what day it will be and what time. So please mark your calendar for full moon special meditation by Swami Gita Kiran. Now I sincerely request Dr. Prasad ji to please take it from here all the way to the end. Thank you, Swami. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you very much, Joshi ji. It is very nice to hear more and more of thoughts coming from Gita devotees in this satsang program. It's great. Let me start with prayer to Bhagavan and Gurudev. Vansi Vibhushitakaran Navanirdabha Pitambara Darunabimba Phaladarosta Purnenu Sundaramukha Arvinda Netra Krishna Param Kimapita Tvamaham na jane Sthavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yena Kritsnam Characharam Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Divine souls, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. You all know, since last few weeks, we have been deliberating on verse 5 of chapter 6. A very, very important verse. We have gone at length. We concluded deliberation last week. Uddharedatmanatmanam atmanam bhavasadayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhu atmeva ripuratmanah. Now this is a statement which Bhagavan has made, and we all know in Bhagavad Gita throughout, whenever Bhagavan makes a statement, he gives the reasoning behind it, why he made that statement. Not only that, he also puts the both sides of the, if you do this, what will happen? If you don't do, what will happen? So they compare and contrast the statement and its effect. He gives great detail, and that is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. Now in verse 5, he simply makes statement that you have your mind, and your mind can be your friend at one time and can be your enemy too. Now it looks a bit queer for somebody, if I have an instrument, how that instrument can be at one time friend and other time enemy. That what Bhagavan explains in verse 6 as to how does the same mind which you have, which you think is under your control, it behaves like a friend at one time, but other time it behaves like an enemy. And that he mentions, describes in verse 6 of the same chapter. We go through this verse. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jita anatmanastu satrutve vartetatmaiva satruvata. Bhagavan says here, tasya atmanaha. For that person Atma eva bandhu, bandhu atmana. Atma eva bandhu, mind is his friend. You remember we mentioned that Atma has been taken as mind in this sequence of verses Bhagavan is talking about. So, for that person, Atma is a friend for whom Yena Atmana Atma Jitaha, by whom the lower self has been conquered by the higher self. We have gone through this also, talked about how, which is higher, which is above one. Manasastu parabuddhi yo buddhe paratastu sa, we have talked about. So, when he talks about higher self and lower self, we have the capability to use our higher self to modify the functions of lower self. The mind can deal with the senses and sense objects and the body. So intellect can deal with mind and subsequently senses and the body. So as you go higher up, it has the capability that Bhagavan has given the power and has defined that beautifully in verses, that you use the power of your intellect, use the power of your mind to deal with your own senses and your own body. So here he said in this verse that yen atmana atma jitaha, by whom the lower self has been conquered by the higher self, for that person, mind is his friend. Atma eva bandhuhu. On the other hand, too, but anatmanaha, opposite to atmana. Atmanah, and this is anatmanaha. Anatmanah means for those who has not been able to conquer the lower self. Unconquered lower self. Atma eva, the same mind, satru tue, inimically, the attitude of an enemy, satruvat vartate, acts as if its own enemy. So, he is now, Bhagavan is now describing as to how, if your mind is not under your control and behaving the way you like him, so that spiritually he takes the path to gain spiritual knowledge, go towards Brahma, then that is your friend. On the other hand, if your intellect or mind is not able to control the senses and the sense objects, then that will take you downwards on the path of your spirituality, and that's how it is your enemy. A friend will guide you to move in a better direction, higher direction, and an enemy will pull you down. So we have to have control over your enemy, your mind, so that it remains your friend and not your enemy. We were just talking about, Yoshiji was talking about that you have to deal with your own self. And Swami Chinmayananda ji has coined this phrase, alone to alone, all alone. You use your own self all the time. It is you who has to make use of yourself to be able to gain pain or gain pleasure or go down and have pain. So none other person is the giver of pain or pleasure to you. And that's why beautifully described in Adhyatma Ramayanam, where it says, Sukhasya dukhasya nakopi data paro dadati iti kubuddhi resha aham karomiti prathabhimanaha swakarma sutre ratito hi lokaha. None other person is the giver of pleasure or pain. Sukhasya, dukhasya, kopi, no other person is the giver. If you think that somebody is giving, that is a misconception. Kubuddhi, that somebody else is giving you the problem, that is your wrong understanding, misconception. And if you think aham karomiti, that is your brithabhimana. You are not the doer. Doer is, you are not the doer. It is your prakriti which is giving you all the misdirections, and you follow according to your prakriti. Swakarma sutre gatito hi lokaha. The whole world is tied with the thread of own actions. Whole world is involved according to his prakriti. He is performing action, and his action is interacting with another persons. But for individual, every individual is guided by his own karma, his own prakriti, and that no other person is giving you either pain or pleasure. If you are a man of asuri pravritti, then you will have this kind of attitude. Asa pas sataira baddha काम क्रोध परायणाः ईहन्ते काम भोगार्थम अन्याये नार्थ संचयान. You are yourself, as a result of fulfilling hundreds and thousands of desire, driven by lust and anger, kam krodha parayana, and that is the reason why you go downwards into the path which will lead you to the hell. They strive to accumulate wealth by unjust means, all for gratification of senses. So your senses drive you towards lust and anger, and that lust and anger binds you to sansar more and more. You are getting bound. So it is your own disability to control your senses and the lust and anger arising out of that brings you your downfall. That's what there is need for one to get rid of this drive which desire and lust and anger puts you in. Now, if you move forward, verse 7 and 9, 2 to 9, Bhagavan is talking about the outcome of self-control. You see, first he talked that your mind is your friend, mind can be your enemy. Then he talked about how your mind becomes friend, can be your friend, and how your mind can be your enemy. And the reason he gave that your mind, if he is not able to control the senses and the body and the activities, then that is taking you enemy and downwards. Now, in the following 3 verses, verse 7, 8, and 9, Bhagavan is telling that if you have controlled your mind and the mind is able to have its full niyantran on the lower senses, on the lower self, then what will be the outcome? What are the advantages you will get? You will also talk about what will be the disadvantage if your mind is not under your control. So he talks in 7, he talks about equanimity in pairs of opposite. In all the 3 verses, following verses, he talks about control or maintenance of equanimity. Sammata bhav. Sammata bhav aata hai kisme? In pairs of opposite. In pairs of opposite, there is equilibrium. In verse 8, he talks about how material world. Here he talks about pairs of opposite. In verse 8, he talks about bhautik jagat, material world. And in verse 9, he talks about manav jagat, human world. So how in human world, in material world, and pair of opposite, you establish equilibrium. That what Bhagavan describes in verses 7, 8, and 9. Let us see what he talks about in verse 7. In verse 7 he says, Jitatmanah prashantasya paramatma samahita shitoshna sukadukhesu tatha manapamanayo. In this verse, Lord is talking about pairs of opposites. What it says? Shitoshna sukadukhesu manapamanayo. 3 pairs of opposite he's talking about. Heat and cold, pain and pleasure, honor and disgrace. So there are 3 pairs of opposite. Now these 3 pairs of opposite, a person who has conquered his mind, Jitatmanaha, that means those person who has conquered his mind, he abides in peace. He is not disturbed, whether it is a cold or whether it is heat, whether it is pain or pleasure, whether he has mana or apaman, in all those stages, he is not disturbed. He remains, mind is peaceful. The complete Santi, in peace he is. Why? He has got Paramatma Samahita. He has got firmly established in Brahma. Because of his ability to control his mind completely, everything is friendly. He has his senses and mind, senses and bodies are in full control. So what is happening? The moment mind is released from the burden of senses and sense objects, it is released and gets established in Brahma. The mind cannot remain just like this without getting attached to either the senses and sense objects or getting one with Paramatma. This is the beauty of sansara, of mind and intellect. The mind and intellect is a composite which is very close to the Brahma, and with that closeness, it's kind of a clean mirror in which Brahma Gyan is being passed on to. That complex of mind and intellect, once it is released from burden from samsara, through which we are connected through our senses and the sense and the body, once that is released, what happens? That is samahita. That Paramatma samahita. It gets established in Brahma. And once you are established in Brahma, then whatever disturbance happens, whether it is heat or cold or it is man, apman or sukha, dukkha, nothing is going to affect the individual. He remains in peace, complete peace he maintains. Now, the 3 pairs of opposite which Bhagavan is talking about here, and elsewhere also, in chapter 2, we talked about Sukha Dukkha Samekritva. So, Labha Labho Jaya Yuddha Bapsasi, in 2nd chapter, you also knew about that, and Bhagavan has talked about it several times. So, when he talks about the pairs of opposite, that is Dvanda, and when there is a Dvanda, you are a Sansara. Nirdvanda, you are completely out of Dvanda, then you are with Brahma. So there is this bondage. This Dvanda brings about bondage. Once you release from the bondage, you are with Brahma. So one has to make effort not to get entangled or get disturbed by getting associated with pairs of opposite or dvanda. In this chapter, here and also elsewhere, when Bhagavan talks about cold, heat and cold, he talks about disturbance at the body level. When he talks of pleasure and pain, he talks about disturbance at mind level. When he talks about honor and dishonor, he's talking about intellect level. So we can get easily affected by heat and cold of the body, or when you have pleasure and pain, be the mind which is affected, honor and dishonor, it is intellect which is affected. But a person who has jitatmana, who is self-disciplined, he is not disturbed by any disturbance, whether it is at a body level, whether it is at mind level, or whether it is at intellectual level, because he is Paramatma Samahitaha. His mind is completely established in Brahma, and he is completely in peace because of this. So he is not at all disturbed by any of dvanda which he encounters in his life. Next verse, Bhagavan talks about at the material level. At material world, he talks about Sambhava in material world. What he says? He says, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho Vijitendriya Yukta Ityuchyate Yogi Samalosthasma Kanchana. He says, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, fully satisfied with knowledge and wisdom. This part I will explain in great detail next week, because this requires a lot of explanation. Also, Kutastho also will explain next week. But let me explain other part, where Bhagavan is talking about the person who is Vijitendriya, that person who has mastered his senses, he is Yukta iti uchyate. He is said to be one with God. You see, previous verse also we talked about Paramatma Samahitaha. Because he has controlled his mind and senses, mind and the intellect, and controlled all these senses and everything, then he is Yuktaha. That is, he is one with God. And that is yogi. And for that yogi, Sam Lostma Asma Kanchana. Again, Bhagavan is talking about three things. What are those things? He talks about Lostra, that is a piece of earth, clod of mitti ka tukda. Ek mitti, a piece of a clod of earth. Asma is stone, a pathar, or kanchan is swarna, is sona. Now, we all know the value of a clod of earth का क्या value है. Practically, बहुत कम values का है. But when you talk of stone, yes, it has some value. You can use it for building house or building structure or something. Stone can be used, have some value. But gold, of course, you cannot compare the value of earth or stone as compared to that of gold. But this is what ordinary people will have the value. He will evaluate that how much value is of the earth, how much the value of the stone and of the gold. But a person who is yuktaha, that which is yogi, who is one with Brahma, Vijitendriya, who has completely control over his senses and the body, for that person, clay or stone or gold, they are of the same value. So in material world, he will be, anything in the material world, whatever he will see, for him, everything is, there is no difference whatsoever between one particle and the other particle. For him, everything is the same. He says, Samam Brahmas, he is Samam Pashyati Sarvatra. So he is seeing Brahma everywhere. Yo Maham Pashyati Sarvatra, Sarvam Cha Mai Pashyati. So that is the vision he has of material world. Whatever he sees, there is no distinction whatsoever. Now the third verse, he's talking about individual, human being. How in the human world, this person again seeing no difference between one and the other. Sudrina mitra udasena madhyastha dvesu bandhusu sadhusvapi cha papesu samabuddhir viseshyate. Viseshyate means he excels. He has excelled because he has gone beyond finding any distinction between what? Suhrina, that is the well-wisher. See, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan has used these words Suhrd, Mitra, Bandhu, and they have some distinction. He is talking about, when you talk of Suhrd, that is the person who is your well-wisher all the time. Whatever you may have relationship with him, whatever relationship you think with your another person, that person is always your well-wisher. He will not think anything bad in his relationship. You may have, that will not happen to a friend. Sometimes friend will like that if you behave with me untoward, he will go wrong with you. He will misbehave with you. So that is the relationship with friend. And bandhu is the family relative people. Of course, you know what happens between relatives. They can be very good with you or they can be very bad with you. They can kill you also. But that killing will never happen with Suhrud. And a friend will also think 10 times before taking that. So there is a relative difference between a Suhrud, a Mitra, and a Bandhu. This will be clarified more and more. So in this verse, Bhagavan talks about Suhrud, Mitra. He uses the word Suhrud and Mitra both. So one is well-wisher, other is friend. Madhyastha, that means the one who as mediator. Udasina, that is a neutral person. So there is a difference between Udasin and Madhyastha. Udasin means he is not bothered what is happening. He is neutral. Even in the society, when you have, there are people who, whatever is going on in society, he remains neutral. If there is a fight between two, he will say, blah, blah, I have nothing to do with you, whatever you say, is neutral. But when you talk of Madhyastha, he is involved. In a neutral, a Udasin person will not get involved in whatever is happening. That is Udasin. But Madhyastha is the one who will be involved and will try to mediate and try to resolve the solution. So that is the distinction. Dvesasu, that means he's envious. The person, he may have envy. Bandhu, I talked about. Sadhu, a saint person, as well as Papesu, sinners. So you see, in this verse, Bhagavan has used so many words which indicate people in the world, society, who are at a different level of their behavior with you. But this person, when he deals with all of them, he is completely unaffected. He is totally impartial. Samabuddhi, his buddhi is equal, equanimity. That is, he is Sthita Pragya. He is Sthita Pragya. He is completely established in Brahma. He is not getting, if somebody is behaving bad with him, doesn't matter. He's somebody. So that is the status of this person who excels, who is Jitendriya, who is one with Brahma, who is yogi, and that is the person of a who has equally deals with all of them. So in these three verses, 7, 8, and 9, Bhagavan talks about equanimity at three levels. I have purposefully left behind explaining this verse, these two words, Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho. These two words I will explain next week because this requires a lot of explanation, and I will be telling you all these in the next week. Thank you very much. Jai Sri Krishna. I have taken a little more time. Sorry about that.
Now, we are well within the time, Dr. Prasadji, and thank you very, very much. A very, very powerful fifth verse of this chapter 6. Tells that we are our best well-wisher and we are our worst well-wishers. And in verses 7, 8, and 9, it tells how to be our best friend, best well-wisher. Thank you, very well explained. Thank you. And we will definitely be looking forward for next week of Gyan Vigyan discussion of verse 8. At this moment, thank you all of you. The best time spent on a day of the week to understand the deep concepts of Bhagavad Gita. Also, I want to remind, next Tuesday is the full moon special meditation by Swami Gita Kiranji. That is in the evening of Thailand, but that will be same hour in the morning of Chicago and 1 hour ahead in New York. And I'm sure Dr. Prasadji will calculate it 6 a.m. in California.
Yes.
I also request Ramesh to take 5 to 7 minutes to talk about next chapter of Gurudev's summary and send us that Hindi so we can translate into English and relate simultaneously so everybody can understand.
Sure.
Thanks to Keshavji, and I'll request our very esteemed Moti Mehrotra to please give us some word of wisdom next Thursday. I'll request you. With that, thank you all very much. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Yes,
We will
Krishna, Jai
to
Gurudev.
make it in this life. Be
Yes.
sure. We will make it. Jai Shri Krishna.
Yes.
Yes.
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone.
Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai
Thank
Shri
you.